Everybody, today's topic is STAAR review is graphing inequalities. First things first is we want to graph an equation first to remind ourselves how to do that before we get to inequalities. So go ahead, pause the video and try this yourself. All right, so in order to graph an equation, I'm going to use the form that they gave me, which is in y equals mx plus b. My slope, I could go ahead and say is 2/3. My y-intercept is 0, 2. My x-intercept I can't identify yet. So let's go ahead and put this onto the graph. First coordinate that I put is 0, 2, and then I'll use that 2/3 to get the rest of my answers. So I can go up 2 to the right 3 to get more points. I can go down 2 to the left 3 to get more points. That also tells me that my x-intercept, my roots, my zeros in this case are -3, 0. I keep going to get more points, but I don't have to. There is my line right there. Now, where would you find the solution to a linear equation? On your line. And it's specifically points on the line. So for instance, 0, 2 would be a solution. -3, 0 would be one. 6, 6 is one. All these are just some examples. Now, could we have done this graph here in the calculator? Yes. So let me pull my calculator over here. From the home screen, you want to go down here to this U shape here. So that way you can get a brand spanking new graph. And then you want to go ahead and type in your equation. Don't change anything in it because it's already in y equals, just like you see here. You'll just go ahead and press Control Divide to get your fraction. 2/3 x plus 2. Enter. And notice it is exactly like what we had here. If I press Control T, that allows me to look at my table and see all my coordinates. I can go up and see that my y-intercept is 0, 2. I can go to where we said my x-intercept is, -3, 0, and see that coordinate. So that's how you graph by hand and in your calculator. Now, when it comes to inequalities, this table here is something that we have made before. Reminder that whenever you are less than or greater than, that's when you're going to have dotted lines for inequalities, meaning the coordinates on that line are not included in solutions. Whereas for less than or equal to and greater than or equal to, those lines are solid. They are solid lines that all the points are included. For less than, you are going to shade below the line or down. For greater than, you're going to shade up or above the line. Now, as always, you probably want to get this either in point slope or slope intercept. Ours is already in slope intercept, so we don't have to worry about changing this equation. We need to identify our y-intercept, which is 0, 4. Our slope is 3. And then they want us to name some solutions and non-solutions. So let's plot this on our graph. 0, 4. And then I have a slope of 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. And another one is go down. 1, 2, 3, 1. If I wanted to go backwards, 1, 2, 3. Now, we said whenever we are less than or equal to, it is going to be a solid line. So I'm going to connect all these dots and make them solid. Whenever we are less than or equal to, we also want to shade below our line. So we want to shade on this half of the graph. Now, solutions possibly would be maybe 6, 0 or 8, 10. Non-solutions, -5, 3, -10, +10, just to name a couple. Now, could you have graphed this one in the calculator? You could technically partially graph it into the calculator. So what I mean by partially, go back to your home screen and create a brand new graph. When you type this in, you are not able to put that inequality in. Again, you would have to delete what's already there. If you do that, it won't work. Your calculators are going to be in what's called press to test, and that makes it to where if you delete that equal sign on the calculator, nothing will happen. You won't be able to see anything at all. So we cannot do that. So what we can do is type 3x plus 4 and see what our line looks like to make sure that we have the correct line. Now, you will still have to decide line type and shading though. All right, next, I got 4x minus 2y is less than 6. That right there is an equation not in slope, intercept, or point slope. I need to get this equation from the standard form that it's in to slope, intercept. So how do I do that? Well, my final goal is to look like y is equal to mx plus b. That's what I kind of want my equation to look like in the end. So x needs to be on the right-hand side. So let's subtract it. -2y is less than 6 minus 4x. Well, I need y by itself, so let's divide everything by -2. Now, remember, when you divide by a negative, the inequality sign flips from less than to greater than. And then we have -3 plus 2x. So my slope is 2, my y-intercept is 0, -3. So go down, and I can go to a y-intercept of -3, rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1. And if you wanted to get the full graph, you would just keep going on and on and on until you got everything you wanted. Now notice this is a greater than symbol, which means it's going to be a dotted or dashed line. And then we are greater than, so we do have to shade above the line. All of our solutions will be in that shading. Since this is a dashed line, no coordinates on that line can be included with the solutions. So 0, 2 could be considered a solution. -4, 10 could be considered a solution. But my y-intercept would not be considered a solution. Points in the white area, 8, -1, would not be a solution. All right, guys, that's it for today. Make sure you go do the quizzes. It does count for a quiz grade.